What's going on, guys? Your boy Random Guy Kev, and this is Thoughts of a Random Guy. We talk about many things dealing with love, dating, relationships, adulting, life's ups and downs, and the ever-evolving world of just being a human. Don't forget to check me out on all your favorite social media platforms at Random Guy Kev and my website, randomguykev.com. Today's topic is: are we too dependent on technology? And my co-hosts for this episode are...
This is Tom, the AI master.
And this is Eric, the AI illiterate.
so yeah so as you guys know, technology is constantly evolving. We're always something new coming out, and it's like, are we becoming too dependent on those types of technology? And what does it mean to be too reliant on technology? And an example would be if, right now we're all stuck to our phones. We're all stuck to our phones. We can't do anything without our phones. We can't communicate. We don't know. Some of us don't know how to communicate without having our phones present. We don't know how to get to specific destinations without our phone, without Google Maps, things of that nature. What do you got? For you guys, what does it mean to be too reliant on technology?
It's the people that can't write an email anymore without using AI. And I'm a little guilty of some of that. I'm not gonna lie, but that's why I'm so judgmental, because I do feel like it's a problem and I could relate to it.
Okay. Eric?
I personally, especially when it comes to AI, I'm a little hesitant. I'm very much like, it's moving too fast, too quickly. There's a lot of people raising alarm bells, and like, to me, because I just kind of try to walk in the opposite direction of most things convenient, I am tentative of using it more often. But that being said, I do run my business off of a platform that now has AI integrated into it, and there really is no escaping it. So there's that. Yeah.
So being so back to the question. So what does it mean to be too reliant on technology? And you guys are bringing up AI because it seems that that's being thrown in our faces right now, and like everything is being integrated. Like I see it on a day-to-day in my job, where right now we're testing 3 different AIs to bring into the company. And I think AI is definitely a hot topic as far as technology goes, because like, to me, when I think about AI, I want to be able to be like, hey, go cook me a sandwich, or hey, go clean my room type thing, versus hey, go type out my full paper, create this speech for me, and things like that. I mean, I do sometimes. I'll write something like Tom, when you say you sometimes have the AI write it. Like for me, I'll write out my email, and then I'll throw in an AI and be like, hey, make it more professional and direct.
Yep.
And that's it.
I think there's definitely like a few parts of AI that exists, right? There's the convenience part, which is the present, and that's great, right? But then there's also the past of AI, which is always perceived as a threat. Like you everybody thinks about Terminator and Skynet and like
or the Matrix, like
right.
We got movies about this.
Yeah, the past of AI, it's almost like a sentient style threat, based off of robots and stuff. But in reality, what AI is becoming, there's a beautiful part of it, and there are real threats from it too. Like the beautiful part is there's so many new opportunities and potential with AI. Like you talk about AI that maybe you have augmented reality glasses, you're shopping at the grocery store, and your AI is automatically telling you how many calories you're purchasing on this trip, right? Like things like that, it's great, right? But then the threat is, well, now you have AI that will take jobs, and it's gonna happen, right? It will create security threats, and it will happen. So I think it's not something we could stop from happening, but it is something that you could think about, of like how you want to use it when it does come.
Think about this. Like, I've seen so many TikTok videos, Instagram videos of kids in college using AI to answer homework, do tests for them, create presentations for them. Think about these people that are our future lawyers, our future doctors. You know, they'll be holding these important positions, but the way they got through school is by using AI. So it are like moving forward, is this going to be the way they're going to go through life? Like, it's essentially like, hey Google, how do I do this? And Google's guiding you through doing it, and you're sitting there watching it while like doing open heart surgery. It's like, bro, this shit is nuts. I'm like the whole AI thing. It's a scary situation because I keep just thinking about our future, and I'm hoping some people like just like, you know, get past the whole AI thing. Like stop relying so much on it, and learn certain skills on their own.
I think we had a similar kind of narrative come out when the internet first came out. You know, it was
yeah. I mean, the internet's still like one of those things where people always there's two things with the internet. One, people fail to do their own research, and two, the people that do their own research don't fact check correctly. So it's like when you're in school, you know, when we had to do projects and we had to cite our sources on the last page. Hey, where did you get this from? These kids don't know how to do that. A lot of people don't know how to do that now. And it's like they're spewing all this bullshit on TikTok and Instagram, and you're looking at it, and I'm like, it takes 2 seconds to look it up, but people refuse to do that because, oh, I think this person has done their research, so I'm going to believe them based off that.
I feel like there also is an element of like, let's talk about technology in the grand scheme of what we have in everyday life. You know, cars, industry, manufacturing, you name it, was all replace someone's labor at some point in time. And what we create and evolve in what we build and make part of our society to make things easier, to make things more streamlined, to make things part of our integrated way of how we do things. And up until AI, I feel like most of it had to do with physical labor and industry and what can make things easier and more streamlined. And now it really kind of comes down to AI. Feels like now we're just streamlining the actual like skill process of what it is that we do. And that kind of does remove a lot of that human element from things like that. And I think that is one core fear of why AI is terrifying to some, where it's like, before it was you're getting rid of the labor, and now you're really just getting rid of what human interaction is and replacing it with essentially another creation of ours, of a computer and electricity and all these things. And it just kind of like, we've created this thing. And now it's time to take responsibility as to what it does or what it can do.
I mean, AI. I guess we started talking about AI. What AI started being integrated, more integrated into things in the past 2 years. And technology has always been part of our lives. Like, you know, if you don't have like a smart car, people look at you weird. Your car should be smart. It should be able to tell you how to do things. It should have AI integrated in it. Like, listen, I know people that have cars from like 50 years ago that still work better than some of these new cars that are out, that are smart technology cars.
Yep.
Like, let's be honest. Like, things were built to last back in the day.
And my wife has had a couple of different EV cars, and really the only thing that I've found has been the most beneficial from having a quote unquote smart car is the little lights that pop up on your side view mirrors when somebody's in your blind spot. That to me is like the only useful thing that I've ever found, and cruise control, which you've already had. So like, I don't, yeah, to me, outside of that, it's kind of pageantry.
Yeah. like I don't even have that on my car. I have a 2016 Honda Civic, and I didn't that didn't come with my model specifically, but I mean, yeah, all these new things being added to everything we're doing. Like now, some of the newer laptops are coming with AI. They're required, like some of them are required to have AI. Even the like refrigerators, like hey, you're low on milk or you have no more water. Your fruit is about to go bad. Okay, I'm sorry, that's not bad. That's not a bad thing. Having AI like check that stuff.
I think I think with AI, because of how powerful this tool could be, we I think us as human beings with the one the element of humanity and two our creativeness is still superior. We need to learn how to be more productive with the tool of AI. It's up to us to adapt because you're taking steps 1 through 50 and you're skipping to step 51 to complete a task, right? Yeah, so you as a person who needs to adapt to the world, to what AI is bringing to the workforce or to daily life, it's gonna force you to be that much of, maybe you could say, a better version of yourself, or maybe you just say it's a more productive version of yourself. But it just means that these tools exist and you have to utilize it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Is that like for me, like we were talking about writing emails and then having an AI just kind of touch them up. I find myself also I write very similarly to how I speak, and that's not necessarily the best way to give a message in a professional setting, especially if you're not necessarily used to it. Or you might forget certain things or use certain language that is more appropriate for that setting that email is going out towards.
Yo,
and
bitch,
things
what's
like that.
good?
Yeah, what up, fam? I'm here. What's good? And when it's really like, I will be here at
Word.
3 p.m. I will be, you know what I mean? Like, I will be
Yeah.
there for that meeting. So I have, and especially with resume building, that is another really great tool where normally you would pay people to do your resume. And I'm sorry that took away your side hustle, but it's super helpful in that regard. I'd like to use it more to help me with like the process of like running a business by myself where I might need to have help with other things. I can maybe ask AI to like streamline those things for me to kind of help me along.
Do you guys feel like with AI being integrated into everything, do you feel like we're kind of losing ourselves and being too reliant on it?
There's a sense of too much reliance on it for sure, but we're also creating new ways to express ourselves too, because AI, as much as it sucks that it's replacing a lot of like art type of jobs, a lot of people are also being really creative in good ways and bad ways. I don't know if you guys have seen all the AIs of people putting two random pictures together and making those people make out like those kind of things. It's like, it's so stupid, but at the same time someone out there developed that, and it's kind of brilliant that they invented that.
But there's also the concept of people using that to fake specific things, like fake, like the president saying XYZ,
Yes.
or a congressperson saying XYZ, or like it could start wars too if we don't notice them. I notice
AI, yeah, AI has the ability to be weaponized for sure, and that's something I think we should touch about. The threat of AI is that at some point there's no one that's gonna draw the line, and it's already close to that because people bend the rules and already get away with things. But right now, for example, your ChatGPT, there's a filter on it. You can't. It's designed to not cross the line of you talking about certain topics. I believe it doesn't talk about death too much, or like killing, or certain keywords. But that's because someone designed it that way, and at some point that filter could be removed, and we all need to be ready for it.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I see people using the AI for like just random things happening. Like there was one video I saw where it's like people on a cruise ship and then you see the wave coming and it looks like the wave's gonna like take all those people out, but it's really not. And you could tell that it's certain things I'm just starting to pick up on what's AI generated and what's not just because of my job. We're currently testing different AIs and it's like, oh, okay, like let me see what this does. Can I do this with this? And can I create this picture? And then, people have started creating graphics with AI. Hey, create me a marketing campaign using these pictures, and then create me like 2 or 3 posts, Instagram posts or Instagram reels, and it'll do that using AI generated stuff. And then there's people who have AI generated like Instagram quote unquote celebrities, and they use that to make money. And it's like, and they look real, but no, those pages are AI generated. And like like you said, what's the line? Who's regulating this? Who's gonna be the ones regulating AI?
I think when it comes to the topic of who's going to regulate AI, you have to first regulate yourself. And by that I mean, like, okay, so if everything around us, this tool that we've created being the internet, which gave birth to AI through whatever science fiction dystopia we live in, you have to then realize that this could be something malicious. This what I have to trust in my own faculties in order to, I mean, really, yeah, that's kind of scary because a lot of people don't trust faculties and they believe wild shit. And unfortunately, you can't control that. And unfortunately, as long as there is a tool created, somebody out there, like Tom said, will cross a line. Be either they want to cross a line because of whatever their intent,
boredom,
or boredom, or just like I'm gonna. What would it be like to create the biggest upset? In a you know what I mean? Like with very minimal funding and AI, you can do a lot of havoc. To be honest,
I mean, I've met people that are just pure evil. I've met babies that are just pure evil. There's people that are gonna. It's not an if, it's when and how, right? And it's probably already happening because this is a worldwide thing, and there's so many damn hackers nowadays that none of these filters are really gonna do anything against them. If you're already someone that invested time to learn hacking, right? Like you're already someone that has that kind of mindset. And it's up to them if they use it for good or not, right? So that's all coming. Whether you like it or not, it's gonna come. But like Punk was saying, like Eric was saying, you have to adapt to it, right? Like you need to recognize what's real and what's fake, even if sometimes it's really hard to see what's real and what's fake, right? And then the same way that the internet is such a strong tool at fabricating news nowadays, is the same way that you need to be careful with AI. I really believe that.
I mean, there's tools out there to, for the college students, there's tools out there that college professors use to determine, hey, if this is all AI generated. And it's like, I'm happy that they're using it, because fuck these kids. Listen, shit was hard for me, shit gonna be hard for you.
Yeah.
Ain't no fucking way. Sorry.
No. And also too, with how you think about what drives AI and what drives the reason why we have smart cars and smart TVs and ads on YouTube because you didn't pay for premium. Like, when you see a bit of information, especially with, like, I go loop back to why we have targeted algorithms that are AI driven based off of your decisions, based off of your likes, your dislikes, and everything like that. You have to ask yourself, why am I seeing this? Is this something that is this something that's being slipped into my, like, is this something that I really need to be paying attention to? Is this just drivel? Why is somebody pushing this on me? Like, and check yourself. Why would I want to invest my attention into this brand that has been pushed either AI driven or not. And it's the same type of okay, so like we don't fear predators, right? But yet we have a very predatory underside to things, and that comes in also advertising, in the content we see in the internet, and predatory things. So like can be subject to prey in that regard, and having your hackles up, why am I seeing this, being cautious of the content you are seeing, can help you make better decisions when it comes to moving forward in your career in the internet. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how it kind of feels. You can,
yeah, that absolutely makes sense. Like I think the way to look at it really is just, you know, like you first focus on yourself to be aware, right? And creating your own self-awareness to everything means that you can't be stubborn to it. And the reason why we have to look back to the start of the internet is because at that time a lot of people were they didn't want to adapt to the internet coming, which resulted in a large amount of the workforce from the generation before us being behind in their job in the workforce, because they didn't take the time to understand what, you know, HTML or yeah, like networking, or, you know, all those old terms. Like they didn't take the time to understand it, and that became a problem for them. So we can't be the victim of that to ourselves.
No, you got to be very open-minded to all the new stuff that's coming out, of course, but at the same time you got to also have common sense to realize not all this shit is safe. Some of this shit is dangerous as fuck. Especially the AI shit. It's very dangerous, and I don't think people are understanding. Like, alright, don't give AI too much of your information, because it'll use it in some way or form. Like those are the questions that I'm always having at my company, as far as company information. Hey, you can drop in 2 documents and have AI give you a summary. But then where are those 2 documents going afterwards? Are they stored on your computer? Are they stored on the AI server? Are they free online to just be accessible by anyone? Like, where's your information going? And people are okay with just giving AI any type of information. Fuck no, because like you said, Tom, there's hackers out there that can get your information. Hackers are readily available. They're always grabbing people's information and using it for malicious things.
I also think a lot of people being okay with AI having their information don't necessarily know the depth of what that means, and how malicious it can be, because of ignorance towards, like you had said, some people don't know how to use an Excel spreadsheet. And how the fuck do you think they're going to understand how AI can fuck their world completely? So, a lot of it, I feel, is kind of ignorance is bliss.
And that's the thing. It's like, if you don't know how to use an Excel spreadsheet or send an email correctly, don't mess with AI. Sit your ass down. It's like start from the beginning. You gotta start from the ground up. Don't just immediately go into, you know what? I want to use AI because it seems like it's something I should be using. Hold on, baby girl. Relax, because this shit could be dangerous.
So let me ask you guys, doesn't that mean in the same conversation we could reverse engineer what we're talking about? Like we could give the AI random information about us that we wanted to think, right? Can that be to our advantage?
Yeah, I mean, we could have AI generate a whole profile on us.
Because if I constantly told the AI that I'm, for example, the best marketing person in the world, does that mean it's gonna work in my advantage?
I would say, though, also there is always the balance in that, being now you've only done nothing but lie to a learning machine, who then in turn is going to lie to you. And when you don't understand something and it's lying to you and you give it so much fact, then you could be really running into a slippery slope.
Yeah. It turns into something. It just gets a lie that just gets deeper and deeper. Essentially.
Yeah, for sure.
A lie that just
For
gets
sure.
deeper and deeper, and it's like, but like, do you guys think like AI is really gonna replace our jobs though? That it
Yes.
can replace our jobs?
Yes, 100%.
Why
It's
is
already
that?
happening. I'll give you an example. So, I'm very close with people in the animation industry, and storyboarding is already replaced. Because it's so easy to take some design. So let's say, for example, you animate, let's say, The Simpsons, right? All you have to do is input the basic designs of each character and just give the prompt of, hey, I need Homer to be at the bar with the boys, and I need them to be, playing pool, right? The AI will generate that in seconds compared to the the artist who might need a couple hours to draw that. So it's already coming, right?
So
You're talking about,
you said it's done. Fuck it, it's done already.
it's here. It's already here. Like, if you ever go to some Yoshinoya locations in California, they have AI drive-throughs. It's already there.
Taking orders.
Yeah, it's taking, like, you pull up to it, the AI is like, hey, welcome to Yoshinoya, what can I order, what do you want to order, you tell it, it'll tell you, okay, so you want a number one, would you like a side of salad? You're like, yeah. And then you pull up to the window and you see it, you look inside, and there's only like two people working in there.
Because it's already taking the orders.
Well, I mean, and then
Exactly.
I mean, it's only a matter of time before, like, the people who it takes to, it's all going to be conveyor belts.
Yeah, that's pretty much happening already. Like, I read an article that in China there's already a 24/7 AI manufacturing location, and I think they make cars in China. So it's that's inevitable. It's here. We need to adapt. And again, if you're someone that's kind of resisting just because you don't know it, you're not comfortable with the idea, you're gonna be in a bad situation in a few years.
Man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it kind of comes down to all, like, what, yeah, I mean, the products, the brands, the what you, how much convenience do you want to give to those services, where it's like, okay, if I'm gonna go get a burger or whatever, or do I want to have, is it that convenient for me to just remove the human element altogether? And I think that you're gonna have, eventually at some point, a division in society where it's integrate the robots, and other ones are going to be like, I don't want anything robot related. And you're going to have this now divide of, we only use human beings for this process, and vice versa.
Literally.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're going through it right now with, immigrants. Yeah, immigrants shouldn't be working. It should be American citizens. And then you look at what's happening. Okay, get rid of the immigrants, and a lot of shit is not being done. A lot of work isn't being done, and you can see it. You can visibly see it, like construction, farming, and a number of other things where a lot of immigrants took those jobs because nobody else was taking them. They were doing a good job at them, and now it's like people can't finish orders. A lot of food's gonna go rotten because they have no pickers.
And the result of that is that costs go up.
Yeah,
right?
costs
Like,
go up.
we're the ones, the consumer is the one that has to deal with it because the cost of things go up. And that's what you have to think about, because like Eric was saying, some people are going to use ethics to attack this, and if there's a war based on ethics, then what about the business owner who looks at this as an opportunity, right? Because if I hire a team of 15 people, I have to worry about their salary, I have to worry about like their personal issues and X, Y, and Z. But if I have AI and machine, I have workers with none of that, as well as they could work 24/7. So at some point you have to understand, like, well, that's a great investment for that business owner.
Yeah, to well, no, and to that, like, I see, like if you're replacing humans in an art, like you if you already have employees, that is a moral dilemma that you're going to have to come to terms with, and whether or not you're going to fire people because this process makes more financial sense realistically, as opposed to like, oh, bottom dollar, we're going to get rid of this and use AI. Now, if you're a up and coming, and you're learning the ropes, AI can definitely be that tool you need, where you're not letting anybody go because there's nobody there to begin with. So if I can use AI to maximize my ability to do things, then great, from that standpoint. But it all just kind of goes into like what your industry is, what stage of the industry you're in, and how either you want to move forward by eliminating job and streamlining that, in which case that's, there's a moral conversation to be had about that. But
For sure.
yeah,
There, like, a question I could ask you guys right now is, let's say for example, like I went to Carl's Jr. last time, right? And Carl's Jr. right now in today's economy, a 3-piece chicken tenders is $16.99, right? And it's ridiculous, but it's and the problem is the problem is, though, a lot of that comes from the fact that minimum wage right now is that high, right? So let's say for example, if AI comes in the picture and the cost of the chicken tenders go back down to $10, well, not you guys specifically, but wouldn't society be okay with that?
I would want to know why it went back down, honestly. Like, cause shit don't just change like that.
well, I
We
think
understand.
that's it. Also has to do with like inflation.
Yeah.
Prices very rarely ever go down. Like
Yeah.
once they're at that point and people are paying that price, then it just stays there.
Yeah. And then they're never gonna go back down. That's just delusional. Like if people are still, the thing is, people will. It's like gas. Gas fluctuates up and down. Are you gonna stop paying for gas? No. You got places to go. You got things to do. So you're gonna keep paying for it. It goes from $2 to $3. You're still gonna pay for it. It goes from $3 to $5. You're still gonna pay for it because you have places to go and things to do. So it's the same thing that kind of applies across a lot of different markets, where even if AI is involved, yeah, people still gonna pay for it.
I think maybe to rephrase the question, instead of it going down, maybe it stops increasing.
It stays at the same price the entire time.
Because you're taking away cost to a company that is causing the necessity of the product to be a higher price. That's more of my question.
I mean, people still gonna talk. It's like you talk about the Arizona 99 cents. 99 cents Arizona. They've never gone up, even with inflation, and people still purchase. People still get it. Like, they do no marketing.
But
go
the thing,
go ahead and look it up. They do no marketing.
So
But
that
it's still
that
selling for
takes
99 cents.
that takes individual companies taking that moral stand, and you can't. Usually, when money is involved, having a moral stand is a lot more difficult to come across when money is involved. You know what I mean? So, like, if you have a company where they're like, we own everything, we don't need to increase the price, we can move price around in other ways. I want to create a product for this that stays the test of time. And it takes out of the box thinking to do that. But you have very, very rarely and very seldomly do you have people taking the hard road or the moral one when an easier one is available where you can kind of skirt responsibility in that regard.
Yeah, like I believe the concept behind that factory in China, because they're using machines to build cars, they could sell the cars for a lot cheaper because they're not worried about the salaries of labor. Yeah, so
Are you talking about
you know,
the new Toyota for like 10,000?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the
No,
cost,
because like, so
but
they
I'm
were talking
assuming
about they were talking about the new Toyota that's not being sold in the U.S. because it's so cheap.
Yeah, no, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
It's so cheap and so affordable that it just doesn't make sense to sell here because everybody would buy it, and it does a lot. But I mean, that could be what you were talking about. Like they probably have a bunch of bunch of machines in there turning stuff out.
yeah,
And
the checks and balances have to work, right?
Yeah.
So it probably means that they have a factory that's doing it that way, because the cost of material is so high nowadays that you have to save on the cost of labor to bring something has to go
something
down,
has to give.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I think we could all have opinion about it, but we live in a capitalistic world, and it's almost unavoidable that this is the natural progression of where that goes.
Yeah. Yeah. No. What do you guys would think would be the worst case scenario for AI? Like,
They take over the world. I do think that could happen. I'm not oblivious to
yeah, I agree.
Skynet being a possibility at all. Like it could happen. I think AI, the moment AI could make its own AI or robots, by itself, and no humans know about it, that's when we're in trouble.
We essentially us giving them too much power, and we definitely shouldn't do that at all.
Like if they're all of a sudden using those 24/7 facilities and building robots on the side, like what can we really do other than we have to resort to bombs or something.
I mean, I think AI.
Just turn the power off.
Yeah, I think AI.
You gotta destroy that entire grid. You gotta know what the failsafe is, because so if we created AI, then what does AI create in and of itself, or what has it already created, and how paranoid do you want to get?
I mean, we're constantly trying to be the alpha human, right? I think naturally everybody's trying to be the best version of themselves. So if the AI comes together and creates the alpha AI, like I don't even know how to fathom that. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah. And it's like everything. I think all AI stuff needs like some type of failsafe, just in general. Just some type of failsafe where we could just be like, all right, we're gonna turn this bitch off. You can go to sleep, and it immediately turns off. Cause, like you said, like there's the Matrix, there's Terminator. Listen, we know movies tend to become reality sometimes.
Well, here's the thing: is that you eventually, it doesn't matter what you make, create, or bring into this world, someone will figure out how to make it explode.
Yes. And again, like with this whole AI thing, people, want to do like Terminator type robots and stuff. Listen, we had a movie for that. It's the same thing for Jurassic Park. People like, oh, we found some dinosaur embryos. We want to grow them. And bitch, hold on. We had a whole movie about that. Like, relax. Slow it the fuck down. We don't need to do that.
I think another thing AI really creates is the concept of simulation, right? And if you guys want to look more into it, there's a clip of SpongeBob that was generated by AI, and halfway through that clip, SpongeBob realizes he's in a simulation. He realizes he's a AI NPC, and I think that's another possibility, is that whether you believe in like the multiverse or not, we're getting a lot of that in like all the superhero movies, but the fact is, when you have AI, that means you have enough computer and brain power to create simulations. And I don't think a lot of people have ever really thought about the dangers of that too.
Yeah, no,
There's
you're right.
It kind of reminds me, and this is a little bit more of a simpler kind of comparison, is that those buttons that people will teach their dogs to press in order to activate like communication between your owner, where they're like food outside.
Oh yeah,
Now
they
you know what I
teach-
mean.
Yeah.
So like there was one where they had their dog, like we'll just say the dog's name was Susie. And the dog asked, "Why is Susie dog?"
Damn it, Susie.
Like,
Damn it, Susie, Why are you so
motherfucker!
smart?
Like, no, and it like I remember seeing that, and just it's very much like the SpongeBob, where it figures out like what it is, becomes self-aware, and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen, like you guys have been saying, we've seen the movies already. I would hope we have some more sense to actually, take all those movies into consideration, because what happens when it actually comes to us, right? Like I feel like humans at this day and age, we're so, as society, incapable of adjusting, right? Like the whole world goes to shit when we get, like, every time we get a new president, or every time like something crazy happens in the world, or like even like recently with like a lot of weather situations, like people out here in California, when it rains, they can't drive anymore. It's just like people have a hard time adapting already. This is a big thing to adapt to. I hope we're ready for it.
I don't think we are. I don't think most of us are. But as we come to the end of this episode, what do you guys kind of want to leave people with in regards to AI? And just, are we too dependent on technology?
I think with AI, I just hope that people take the time to understand it and be smart about it, because there's a ton of ways you could use it to help you. And I hope people first experience the beauty of AI before they focus too much on the potential dangers.
I think if you have, so like, okay, when it comes to the internet, when it comes to AI, when it comes to technology, as long as you kind of keep your toe dipped into like the old ways of just basic survival skills, you're going to be all right. You know what I mean? Like if you know how to grow food, if you know how to, do other things that, are the exact opposite of what AI is, and just kind of keep yourself well balanced and make sure you control how much you are consuming. And there's a lot of different things that you can do to kind of just minimize its impact on your life, whereas maybe the lives around you may not be so fortunate because they put their trust and they put their willingness to be consumed by it.
Nah, I hear you. But that's it for this episode, guys. You can find me on all social media platforms at Random Guy Kev, and my website, randomguykev.com. Don't forget to check in, and I will catch you guys on the next one.